Good morning. We are celebrating the third week of the Great Easter season. And I would like to just speak briefly about the beautiful Priest Anniversary Mass we celebrated yesterday in the cathedral. This year, we have several priests observing significant anniversaries, and we try to observe anniversaries as they occur every 5 years. But it was a very beautiful Mass, well attended by many of our priests who were able to be present. But it just so happens that it also occurred on the annual feast, which we observe on May 3rd every year, of the apostles Philip and James. Now, if you recall, as Jesus selected those 12 men to be the original 12 apostles, 2 had the name of James. James, the brother of St. John, who were known as the sons of Zebedee, their father, but also then another James, who was a blood relative of Jesus, and he's commonly referred to as St. James the Less, not because he is of any lesser importance, but he was called second after James and John were called. And so James, the brother of John, is referred to as St. James the Greater, and now St. James the Less. But St. James is recognized as the leader of the Christian community of Jerusalem during apostolic times, and he's even referred to as such in the Acts of the Apostles, when the apostles were gathered together to settle a very serious question about converts to Christianity who were not Jews. The Jewish converts, the Jewish Catholics, were saying that they needed to undergo circumcision. St. Paul argued for the opposite, that that was a matter of the old law, which Jesus himself perfected and superseded. And so they wouldn't be. And so the apostles convened, and they had a very serious discussion, and it was decided that those converts to Christianity who were not Jews would not need to observe that Jewish law of circumcision. And St. James spoke very definitely in that meeting of the apostles about this. And so St. James is quite important. St. Philip, of course, we know, is one of those 12 apostles to whom the Greek-speaking Jews came and during Jesus' public life, and came to Philip and asked, would he bring them to Jesus? They needed to and wanted to speak to him. And so that takes place, and that, of course, is also recorded in the Gospels. But having such a beautiful feast of 2 of the 12 apostles be the day on which we celebrate the significant anniversaries for some of our priests of the diocese is quite important. And again, it underscores that succession, unbroken succession between the apostles and succeeding bishops and priests down through the ages. And that's very important. And again, because we're in the midst, really, of the Easter season, every Mass, daily Mass and Sunday Mass, we have almost a continuous reading of the Acts of the Apostles, which is a very accurate chronicle of the life of the church from the time of the apostles themselves and Pentecost into the latter part of the first century of Christianity. And so I would ask you, as the Easter season continues, please do remember to pray for your parish priest, pray for our seminarians who are in priestly formation, and also please continue to pray that God will inspire more young men and women to respond to his call to vocations to the priesthood and the consecrated life. And it just happens that this coming Sunday, this next Sunday, is the World Day of Prayer for Vocations. And so all of this is so important to each of us in our own daily living of our Catholic faith, but it's especially important to our diocese and to the Church universal, that we continue to have young men and women who very generously and selflessly respond to God's call to serve the Church as priests and consecrated religious. And so continue, please, to enjoy the beautiful Easter season, and please do continue to pray for and foster vocations in our diocese and for the Church itself.